Welcome to my first ever response video, guys. I don't think I've ever done one of these, have I? I'm not sure, but I put up a post on Instagram. That post got way more comments than I thought. It has over 3,000 comments with a lot of feedback. Basically, what I did was I asked you guys or people in general, I asked people to comment what makes them click off a YouTube video. So basically, when you're watching a video and you don't finish, why don't you finish? What makes you stop? Why do you log off or click off the video? And the responses were really very many. At first, it was very positive. People were actually giving good feedback, length of video, quality of video, even in terms of content, how content creators can improve. And then at some point it just turned into a very hateful place. I have quite a number of things to say about that post and I've written them down. First, I don't know why there's this idea or this notion that influencers shouldn't defend themselves. I don't know. Like, we're human beings, guys. If someone criticizes you and you feel like they've criticized you wrongly, then naturally you want to speak up and you want to give your point of view on things rather than just sit back and take the criticism. But it was apparent from all these comments, or not all, but from many of these comments, that many people out there seem to think that influencers should not defend themselves, that we should just sit back and take everything thrown at us, and we should not bother to defend ourselves, and we should not bother to, try and, God forbid, we respond to a comment, trying to defend ourselves. So I asked for honest feedback and I wanted honest feedback, but I don't know, guys, since when does honest mean negative? Since when does honest mean that I'm inviting people to bring me and other content creators down? People can be honest and be kind at the same time, because there were some comments that were really attacking me and other content creators. And I said, you know what, I'm not gonna just sit back and let people just attack and attack and attack just because they're behind, a phone. I'm going to defend myself. Okay, I'm not going to be a doormat. And then when I responded to some of these comments, other people would respond back and say, but then you asked people to be honest. Or if you ask for honesty, you should have expected anything. Really? Someone here actually said, when you ask for honest opinion, expect anything and everything. Yes, someone else here said, the wound is where the light enters you. I feel like those who take the reviews with grace, however much it hurts, will grow and learn a thing or two. And it's true, there were very many things to be learned from these comments, but I feel like some of you guys expect influencers or hold influencers to a much higher standard than you'd even hold yourself to. I mean, some of the things that people were saying, if someone said that to your face, I don't think you take it gracefully. And there's a difference between being a doormat and being humble, because many people were saying that the influencers who are responding and defending themselves are not humble, and fame has gotten to their head or whatever. And I don't think humility means you sit back and allow people to attack you and hurt you with their words. So I don't know. I don't think that just because someone is an influencer or a public figure, that this means that they should just take everything that people throw at them, any negativity and any hate. Also, at Joanna, don't take things people are saying personally. We all have things we need to work on, even in our area of work. So take only what will improve you. How can I not take things personally when people are taking jabs at me? I mean, they're criticizing my work in such a negative way and trying to bring down what I'm doing. How can I not take that personally? If your boss calls you into his office or your colleagues or whoever, and they sit you down and they start telling you, you know what, your work is trash, you're a liar, you are, just being very negative towards you, I doubt that you'd sit there and not take it personally. I highly doubt that anyone would sit there and not be able to take people saying negative things about their work and their effort and not take all that to heart and not take it personally. We're humans, guys. We're actually humans and we have feelings and we read these comments. So someone else also actually commented and said how influencers want to discredit the opinions of viewers when she, being me, clearly asked for it and it happens to be the truth. Basically, she's saying it's the truth and I asked for it, so I should be able to take it. I asked for it and it's the truth, but like I said, the truth can be said in a kind way. It can be said in a really kind way, and actually someone is much more receptive to listen to feedback, constructive and positive feedback when it's coming from a good place. As human beings as it is, criticism is very hard to hear. It's hard for you to hear that something you're doing could be done better or that you're not doing it well. And then on top of that, to say it in a negative way, that's just, it's harder for someone to take criticism that way. Then there's also something that quite a number of people kept saying, which is that influencers are unable to take criticism and that they block anyone who tries to criticize them. And I think that it's when you have a social media page, a YouTube channel, an Instagram page, that's your space on the internet. So I feel like you have every right to block someone who you feel is bringing your spirit down or bringing a negative vibe or negative energy into your space. So if someone leaves a negative comment, if it's negative to you, the owner of the account, even if it's not negative to the whole world, you have every right to block that person. I personally have blocked people who, if you were to read the DMs they sent me, you'd be like, that's not so negative, but I felt some type of way about it, and that's not energy that I wanted to invite into my page. So I don't get it when people get upset that some influencers block people for criticizing them. It's up to them. If they feel that person is draining their spirit or their energy and bringing bad vibes into their space, they can go ahead and block. And you can do the same as a consumer. You can block someone who is trying to interfere with your positive vibes, even if to the world it might seem like what they're saying is not negative. Y'all should learn how to take criticism positively. Blocking your subbies because they came at you with their opinion is just lame. Like I said, if their opinion in any way is bringing negativity into your space, an influencer has every right to block them and move on. You know, the truth is, as influencers, we get feedback daily. Some of it is positive and it's framed well and kindly, and some of it is actually just negative. And we take a lot, guys. I mean, on every single YouTube video, you will not miss to find a negative comment. There will always be a negative comment. And it comes with a job, but it's not easy to sit down and take all that, to take all those comments when some of them are quite negative. And people who don't do YouTube or put their lives out there, you might not get anywhere near as much criticism as we do. But there was something that came up about the Pauline Cosmetics review that I did versus the Pauline Cosmetics review that Nancy did. And this one just really rubbed me the wrong way, because many people were saying Nancy didn't like the foundation, but I, on the other hand, was wowed by the foundation. Therefore, because Nancy had negative things to say about the foundation and I didn't, her review was accurate and she's honest and I'm dishonest. And I just thought to myself, what the hell? What the actual hell? I mean, me and Nancy are two different people. We look for different things in foundations, and over and above that, we have different skin types. Nancy has a normal combination skin, so her T-zone gets oily. I have dry skin, and that foundation performed well for me, while for her, it made her oily, and she had some things she didn't like about it. Why does that make my review dishonest? Why is it that people think that for a review to be honest, that an influencer must say something quite negative about a product? You have to say, I like this product, but I really don't like this, this, and this. You know, sometimes you can actually just like a product. And I feel like sometimes this perception that for a review to be honest, some negative things have to be said, even push creators to try and come up with something negative to say about a product. So let's say, for example, here I have this Revlon foundation. I love this foundation. I really love this foundation. They've never sponsored me, and I've never said I have nothing to say negative. I have nothing negative to say about this foundation, but because people on the internet perceive an honest review to have that an honest review must have something negative, then I'll find myself having to come on here and say, I love this foundation, but I wish this part here wasn't white. I would have preferred if it was another color just to make it more fun, you know, so that the influencer can say that they said something somewhat negative so that people can perceive the review as honest. I don't even know if I've made sense, but just because a review doesn't have too many negative things that are being said about a product doesn't mean that it's a dishonest review. Another point that was really raised had to do with similar content by Kenyans, and many people were specifying that it's Kenyans who have an original content and copy content. You know, it's a toy haul today. Everyone is doing a toy haul. Everyone is doing, you know, showing us their living room. Everyone is revamping their room. But let me tell you guys something, that's not unique to Kenya. We can't take credit for that. Content internationally is quite similar. Us here in Kenya, we're doing toy hauls and Gikomba hauls. Internationally, they're doing Fashion Nova and they're doing Boohoo, they're doing apartment tours. They're all also doing similar content. The magic lies in the execution. As in, it's really hard and really rare to come up with a new idea. You can actually sit down and think you've come up with a new idea, and then Google humbles you and tells you, all these people have done videos about this particular rare idea that you thought you had. So the comments that were saying, you know, it's boring, similar content, everyone is doing the same thing, then I feel like, I don't know, especially singling out Kenya, then that's not very accurate because the internet is full of similar content. My style and someone else's style on the internet could be different. The two of us could go shop in Toy Market and we pick such different pieces that it makes the content different. Yes, the title is the same. We've both gone to Toy and we're both trying on clothes. It's a Toy try on haul. Yeah, but at the end of the day, the content itself is different because I have different style from that person, and someone will resonate with my style and the pieces I've picked in Toy, and someone will resonate with another creator's style and the pieces that they've picked in Toy. So someone said here, repetition with no original content. I feel like most of Kenya YouTubers blog about the same stuff. Sijui toy haul, sijui a day in my life, makeup reviews, makeup routine, endless ranting about nothing, how to lay your wigs. Too many vloggers with exactly the same content. Y'all are too predictable. So this one, she really focused on Kenya, and that's not that this content, it's all over the internet. It's the same content in Kenya that is the same content internationally. So it's the way someone executes their piece of content that to me really matters. There was also something that I realized was quite apparent, which is that People seem to be okay with inconsistency, and many people are saying they'd rather a creator doesn't post and then they just come out with like a really good piece of content. And I was really disappointed to see that people actually accept that kind of mediocrity, as in inconsistency to the point where you post a video once every 2 months. And I felt like people who are consistent on this platform seemed to be being bashed a little bit more than people who are inconsistent, which is something I didn't personally agree with. My take on this is that consistency, if a creator is consistent and they're also keen on actually improving their content, then the more consistent they are, the better they get. I mean, when you first start creating videos, you almost don't even know what you're doing. But the more you upload, then the more you start to get more and more comfortable, the more people give you feedback, and the more you can implement that feedback. So I feel like, well, the poll I asked on Instagram was two extremes, and most people chose, it was between consistent with not so great content or inconsistent with great content. And I personally would always pick the person who is consistent with not so great content, as long as I can see them improving with each piece of content. That to me is so much more important than someone who is inconsistent and then just decides one day, oh, let me post. I actually move on. I literally move on from inconsistent people. If you promise to post twice every week and then you just disappear, I actually move on. But maybe that's just me. But I feel like we need to try and appreciate people who are consistent on this platform more often, because the truth of the matter is, for someone to be consistent on the platform, they really put in a lot of effort. For you to sit down, for you to film a video, edit a video, put yourself out there on the internet consistently 3 times a week, 2 times a week, once a week, every week, whether you have a bad week or a good week, whether stuff is happening in your life or not, despite a comment you get on the video today, and you still get up and do the video for tomorrow, for me, that is so admirable, and I would pick consistency any day over inconsistency. And I feel like we need to celebrate creators who actually strive to be consistent, because they're really putting in a lot of effort. They are. And like I said, when you're consistent and you're actually keen on improving your content might not be so great right now, but with time you improve. You take feedback you're getting on each video, you implement it in the next video, and with time you actually get better at creating content. There's something else that was very evident in the comments, which is comparing. People were really trying to put one creator versus another. Edit like so and so. Your vlogs should be like so and so. Sit down and watch so and so. Learn from them and try and make your videos like so and so. Why should I try to edit like so and so, make my video like so and so, when I'm not so and so? And then some people were actually, some comparisons were very unfair, because people were actually comparing two content creators' personalities, where we all have, there are as many personalities out there as there are people. So, and some are really disturbing me, because I don't know why some people in the comments were assuming that for you to be on YouTube, you have to be enthusiastic and, hey guys, welcome back to my channel, and you have to be laughing and smiling all the time. So they were trying to, you know, bring down other creators and say, you're boring, you're not enthusiastic, you need to be more enthusiastic. So some people are calling out creators and saying, you're boring, you need to be more enthusiastic, try and be like this person, watch this person's videos and try and be like that. And I'm like, we all have different personalities. Someone could be introverted and quiet. So does that mean that they should change their personality to be enthusiastic because it's what is expected of them on this space? Someone could be bubbly by nature and they bring that on YouTube, but we shouldn't compare, because we have different personalities, and different people out there will resonate with a different personality. Some people can be too bubbly and too excited for someone when someone else loves them. Some people like calm, quiet and collected personalities. They're more drawn to such a personality, while other people don't. So if there's a personality you don't like, then all you have to do is find one who you're drawn to. Which brings me, in fact, to this other point, which it was very evident that one man's meat is another man's poison. The internet offers us so many options that there's someone for everyone on the internet. So if you don't like someone's content, maybe rather than trying to change it or attacking them and bringing them down, you could try and find someone who, has the kind of things you're looking for in a YouTube channel. This is not to say that we shouldn't criticize YouTubers, because you could love a YouTuber, but you see some things that, okay, she could cut down on length, for example, or she could improve quality of her videos. And I've gotten many comments like that, but people actually give constructive criticism and they say, how about you try to put your phone in front of the window, natural light, instead of in front of this, like that. You can give that kind of feedback to your creators. But if you're sitting there and thinking, this person is so boring, this person is so they're so, I don't like when they do this and they do this, then it's really, really easy for you not to watch their content, because no one has forced you to watch anyone's content. That's the beauty of the internet, is that if you don't like one person's content, number one, you don't have to subscribe. No one has put a gun to your head to subscribe. You don't have to like their content. You don't have to watch their content. You just leave them to cater to the people who actually enjoy what they're putting out and like their personality and it resonates with them and they relate with it. And you find other people on the internet who you can relate to what they're putting out. There's also something about sticking to one thing. Quite a number of people said Kenyan vloggers are all over the place. You don't stick to one thing. I subscribe to you for this, now you're doing this, then you're doing this, then you're doing this. We're actually just regular people, and we're also just trying to figure out our own thing. Just the way people are there, you can move from one degree to another, you can move from one job to another, and it's okay. You're trying to find yourself, you're trying to find what makes you comfortable, and the only way you can do that is to try many different things. So if you started off as beauty, you could take up interests in other things that you want to share, and keep trying different things until you actually find what it is that you're really passionate about. And also on that note, I don't think we shouldn't try to limit people. I don't understand why we try to put people in a box. This is your niche, so stick to your niche. I don't agree with that. One person can have more than one interest. I could love traveling, I could love food, and I'm good at cooking. And on the other hand, I could love beauty. So is it crazy that I would sit down and create videos about each of these topics because I love all of them? I think we should also try and allow people to grow. So as someone is finding themselves, they might find what they started their channel on is not what is getting them excited to wake up and get out of bed every morning. So does that mean that just because people subscribe to you because of that one thing you started with, that you should keep creating content on that, yet it doesn't make you happy? A few years from now, I could wake up and say, makeup, I'm done. I don't like makeup. Or maybe I like makeup, I just don't like creating content about makeup. But I can't say now that all these people have subscribed to me because I do makeup. So now I have to just keep creating makeup content, even if it's completely not what I want to do. We have to also just to let people grow, let people take up new interests. If you've subscribed to someone for one thing and they change into something else, you know what, you might actually like what they're talking about. And if you don't, you can unsubscribe and subscribe to people who are talking about what it is that you want. I could have started with beauty. Next year, I might say I'm traveling the world and I take you guys along. But if someone was so keen on beauty and doesn't open their mind up to be able to enjoy another type of content from the same person, then they can unsubscribe and go and, you know, watch someone who's doing exclusively beauty. Now, some comments were just plain old uninformed. Like someone said, daily vlogs are really unnecessary. Like in December, one person started vlogging and suddenly everyone was doing it and it became like a challenge with zero content. That's quite uninformed because Vlogmas is a thing and it's been a thing for years. So it's not one person started it in Kenya last year and everyone did it. It's a thing. It's actually a thing. So all in all, I think that it's very easy to criticize and say someone should do something when you're not or have never been in their position. It's very easy for you to do that. I mean, just look at people sitting down to watch, let's say, football, for example. As in, you'll sit and you'll be like, hey, he should have passed here, he should have, I don't know, done what. If he did this and this, he would have, you know, been able to score. You know, they know the game, but put them on the pitch and the truth is that they wouldn't be able to play anywhere nearly as good as the people who they are, you know, directing. So it can be really easy, and I do it, everyone does it, we all do it. It's just human nature. We criticize on things that we don't know. So many of the people who are commenting here, if they were to pick up a camera and have a channel, they would realize that it's actually not an easy thing to do, and maybe they would be a bit kinder in the comments. So my takeaway is, first of all, there's someone for everyone on the internet. So if you're a creator and you read these comments, just keep creating. There's good feedback in here to do with, you know, quality and even quality of content and just things you can actually use to improve your videos. But do not change your personality and change your videos to fit the mold of what people want. People subscribe to you because it's you. So don't stop bringing that you-ness into your videos. Yeah, very long video. There's this quote that I had Chimamanda say at an address and I loved it so much, and I'm going to end on this note. And she said, be 100% yourself and authentic. Speak your mind. Do things you want to do, because every single minute we twist ourselves to fit into the molds of other people or society is a minute wasted, and we should not be wasting our time. Beautiful. So let's not waste our good time. Stop wasting your time. Stop wasting your good time, because that is where you go wrong. So thank you guys so much for watching. If you have any comments, you can leave them down below. If you want to subscribe, you're welcome to. I'll see you in my next video. Bye.